now have the backside flush with the corner blocks. And my next step is to cut the miters on the corners. Here you can see I have completed cutting the miter joints on the corner blocks. Your miter joint must be square with the block and even with the tip of the end of the block. Here I have extended the line, the center line, down in front of the neck joint. You don't have to worry about the neck joint too much because the wood's actually going to stop in this area here. But just leave about 1/4 inch on each side of the line when you bend the upper bouts. On the lower bouts, the center line is extended down the block. The first bout will go on and be glued on. Then it will be trimmed to that line. Then when the next lower bout is put on, you will have to trim it to fit flush against a butt joint. But it has to be even and square. I have completed bending and installing the sides on the left side of the instrument. I'll let this sit up overnight before I continue on with the other side. Here I have completed the opposite side. Bending of the side is now complete. I then take and complete the miters on the 4 corners. On your miter joints, when you cut them, fit them precisely so that the joint comes together right on the tip. You should have no gap in the tip, and if you did a good job of book matching, the side grain will line up with the center bout grain in a continuous flow all the way around the instrument. As you can see, the grain pattern tends to run together from the upper bout to the lower bout through the C bout. This is what is meant when book matching, and will also match the back of the instrument. My next step is to separate the top portion of the fixture from the bottom, while leaving the corner blocks in place and the end blocks. During this operation, try not to break the blocks loose from the lower half of the fixture. We will remove all the attaching screws and place some of them into the jacking hole positions. I now have the jacking screws in position. Follow your procedure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Turn each screw 1/4 turn in that pattern continuously until the top portion of the fixture separates from the bottom. It's important to try to get the fixture to come straight up out, so that it will not damage the side as you pull it out. Once you have initially the blocks broken loose from the top fixture, you can go ahead and just, in a clockwise rotation, adjust each screw in about one turn. The fixture is now completely separated from the lower part of the fixture. Now you can just lift it off, and you can see the jacking screws, how they push on the lower fixture. The paper that was around the blocks remains on the block, and in some spots you can actually see where the paper has torn loose. This area right here is where the paper allowed the top portion of the fixture to separate. That's why it's so important not to get any glue in that split line. Otherwise you would have a hard time getting the instrument apart. Remember to mark your fixture with the type, the style, and mark both halves so that you know which half of your fixture goes to which. Because eventually you'll have many fixtures made to do different kinds of instruments. We're going to be putting in the linings next, starting with the center bout, the lower bout, and then we'll do the opposite side in the same manner. Now prepare your linings. It should be approximately 1/4 inch by 1/16 by 8 inches long. Use willow wood and split the willow and then plane it down to the shape that you need. I've taken and split the willow into smaller manageable pieces. Next I take a low angle micro adjustable plane and surface them. Do both sides so that both sides are smooth. And this will allow you to have great flexibility. The reason they're split is so that as it breaks apart, you can follow the grain path of the wood. And continue that process on, doing all the side pieces of the linings. Remember to make extra linings, because if you break one, you'll have to start over and redo it. Because a broken liner inside the instrument, even though glued in place, will still create a buzz when the instrument is played. What I'll be doing next is I'll be taking and cutting a slot in this area for the center bout. I will do the same on the opposite block. This is to hold the lining in place while you're gluing it, and also to strengthen the structure of the C-bout.